we are going to talk about rule. To do this, there's some rules you need to remember. Okay. So first rule is to set the height as 1. So what is height? Height is b here. So to set the height of the right triangle is 1. Okay. And another rule is about hypotenuse. So to set the hypotenuse as what? To set the hypotenuse as the number that you are going to draw. What number? The irrational number. For example, like square root of 2. Okay? So you just need to remember that to set the height, that is b, as 1, and the hypotenuse as the number that you are going to draw, that is c. Okay? That is c. Okay? Alright, so now it's time to give you some example. So first example, I will just do the square root of 2. So first of all, I'm going to write down a Pythagorean theorem formula, that is a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. Okay, followed by rule. To set the height as 1. To set the height is b, right? Height as 1 here, square. And then to set the hypotenuse as the number you are going to draw, that is square root of 2. Square root of 2. Okay? And here is a square. Alright, so we need to find out what is the number for a. So I'm going to do a quick calculation down here. So there's a number, okay, that is a. Okay, I'm going to use, I'm going to use a square here, okay? That's the number we're looking for. Plus 1 square, that is 1, right? Equal to, so at this moment, the square root of 2 square, so we can know that the square and the square roots can cancel out each other and left 2, right? So I put 2 here. Okay, so what number is a? That should be like 1 plus 1 equal 2, right? Because 1 square still 1. So I can find that the a here is 1. Okay, so now we have a, b, c, 1, 1, and the square root 2. And now it's time to draw. I will use my compass. Okay, but however, first of all, I need to find out the height of draw the height for the triangle. So the height is 1. The height here is 1. That's b, right? And then a here is 1. So that is 1. That's 1, right? So the hypotenuse I connect to these two lines. That is a c, that's the hypotenuse. And that is square root of 2. Remember I say you put the number that you are going to draw on the hypotenuse in this formula, and that's c. C is square root of 2. Okay? Now I will use my compass, and you use the compass needle from here, and then you get to the distance of the C. You get to the distance of the C, that's here. Okay, that's this length. This length here is square root of 2. So you use this 0 at this point as a support, and you use needle here and you draw down here. Okay. Now this point is this point to 0. Okay, length here. This blue line is square root of 2. Okay, that's how you draw an irrational number by hand. Okay, I got a number on this number line. I got a line on this number line, and that line is length square root of 2. Okay, cool. So next example. Next example here. The second example, I'm going to draw square root of 3. Square root of 3. Okay, again, a formula, Pythagorean formula, a square plus b square equals c square. And I set the height, the rule set the height as 1. That means b. To set this one is 1, right? Square. And then to set the number you are going to draw at the C, which is hypotenuse. So I put this number, square root of 3. Square root of 3. And the square, put down square. Okay, I'm going to do a calculation again. So, for the calculation, you know that a square plus 1 equal to, I say, like the square roots and the square can be cancel out each other, right? So here we only left 3. So let's do the equation calculation real quick. So we got like -1. We gotta move the 1 to here, and changing the sign, that's the -1. So 3 minus 1 is 2, right? So a should be square root of 2 because it's square, and you put down this one, you need to put the square root on it, okay? So a here is square root of 2. Okay, so one coincidence, we just got a length. We just got a length here is square root of 2. Okay, it's pretty cool, right? So here at this point, I'm gonna draw. Okay, you use your compass needle here. Start from 0, right? And then that's the point. Okay, give me a second. That's the point of where the square root at. Okay? And back to the rule, the height. Back to the rule, the height is b, and that is 1. So I point out this. That's 1. Okay? That's 1. Now I can connect to these two lines for the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is here. Start from 0 to this point, the top point. So this line is C. That is the number we are going to draw is square root of 3. Okay. Now we gotta get the square root of 3 by this compass again. So I gotta do a little adjustment here. So now, again, you start from 0 to this point, and this length, this length here is square root of 3, and then you drop down here. So, and this point is at this point is it's also a square root of 3, right? Now I get the blue line for you. Okay, so now this blue line is exactly the square root of 3. That's how I get square root of 3 by hand. Okay? Square root of 4 is what? That is 2. That is 2, right? So I'm not going to draw this because the line is from 0 to 2. That's the square root of 4. Okay? Alright, so now the next example will be square root of 5. Square root of 5. Square root of 5. Okay, so we have the formula here, so I don't have to write down that again. And back to the rule, set the height, which is b, as 1. So I will get I'll get b here is 1, and then put the number that you are going to draw as hypotenuse, that is c. So put the number that you are going to draw here. That's the square root of 5 and the square. Okay. Now, well, I'm going to do a quick calculation for this again. So I'm going to look for find a square and plus 1, because 1 square is still 1. And then, like I say, the square root with the square can cancel out each other. So only left 5 here. Okay? So, quick calculation here. I move 1 here, so 5 minus 1 is 4. And that is a squared equals 4. That means a is 2. So I put a 2 here. That is a, right? Okay? Now, drawing. I have height is 1. So I will do okay, so because this now, I will start from this number. So this number, because that's the bottom, right? The leg, the bottom. So I start from here. So 0, 1, 2. So this line should get here. Okay, that's 2. That's 2. Okay? And then height, I'm going to draw the height. Height is here. That's 1. That's 1. Okay? Sorry that it's a little bit mess here. So I will write down that 1, 2 here. A squared plus 1 squared equal to the number we are going to draw. Okay, so back here, this 2, this 1, and I get the connection to both lines. And this hypotenuse, which is C, that is square root of 5. Okay? So, again, use the compose. The compose is here. We start from here, and I got length. I got length here. Here, I got length here. And again, because this is hypotenuse is square root of 5, I use my compass to get that on the number line, the cross point here is the cross point is here, right? And I get the line connected to the 0 point. So this blue line is square root of 5. All right, so in your homework, you will do that. I will give you some like irrational number like this thing, and you have to draw those irrational number on the number line. That's what we're gonna do in your homework. Okay, so you gonna need to follow my step. Okay, you use the compass and you follow my rule, 2 rule, 1 rule here, 1 rule here, and you will get the answer for your homework. Okay, now let's get into the last example. The last example, which is the square root of 6. Square root of 6. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to write down the formula again. I'm going to let me erase it here real quick. Let me have some space. So, square. Okay, Pythagorean theorem formula. Now, again, use set the height, which is b, as 1. Set the height b, which is 1, equal hypotenuse. That's the number line we are going to draw right now is going to be square root of 6, right? So at C, we put down the square root of 6 in the square, and we are looking for a square. So quick calculation down here. A squared plus 1 equal to, because the square, again, square can and the square root can cancel out each other, so that is 6. Okay, and the square root that I put a number here, so that is 6 minus 1. Square root is 5. So sorry, not square root, a squared. So a here is square root of 5. Okay. Now, so we put the square root of 5 here. I'm going to write down all the formula again. Square root of 5. I have square root of 5 here, and then plus 1 is equal to square root of 6. Okay. So coincident again. We just have a square root of 5 in on my compass. So I am going to use this compass as to find the square root 5 on the number line. So you need to start from 0. Okay. So now I got this distance. Now I got this distance. Now I got distance here. This blue line is square root of 5. Okay, that which is 8. Right? And then height is 1. There's a always not change rule. The height is 1. The height here is 1. And then I connect to these two lines for the hypotenuse. I got this line for the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse here should be square root of 6. Okay. So I have my compass to get the number again. So needle start from here, this point, and I adjust to my pen to here. Okay, so now this length is square root of 6, right? Okay, so you get across that number line, and then you will have a cross point, and start from 0 to this cross point. The length here, the length here is the square root of 6.